from BugeyeGuy.com. Here's Zoya, and for those of you who might have seen the video of Zoya's build project, this is a car that's really getting an awful lot of wonderful accessories thrown at it. Here's, for example, the new air horn already installed, and there's a stainless steel header. We have the engine out on this car because a new transmission will be put in. The head's getting worked a little bit to get a little more power out of the car. And this car just gets more and more wonderful each and every day. A big project, and one that is progressing nicely here. I want to show you on this video, though, something specific that will help you if you're restoring a Bugeye. And it's kind of a pet peeve of mine because it's often done incorrectly. This is the door gasketing, this rubber piece that, of course, forms a seal when the door is closed. And what happens with this stuff is most people just snip it right here, and it doesn't finish very well. The material tends to fray. It also happens to be very sharp. There's little barbs that hold it on this flange. The proper way to finish these is actually to have it die behind this cockpit trim, and what you use is a little eyelet like this, which gets screwed through behind here through this screw, and then the weather stripping actually goes through that eyelet, and that's what finishes it off. It's secured onto the flange, and it curves under and dies behind here, and then of course it runs down the sill, back up the side, and the similar thing happens here. Many people will cut it here. You end up with a ragged edge. They fall off. It's just not pretty. And what you actually are meant to do is right behind here. It's blocked by the top bow. Let's see if you can see it. There's a screw right there that goes through this masonite board, this sort of panel in the back here. Maybe you can see it better on this side. That masonite panel, that's a finishing piece. That one single screw is actually holding the panel in place and also trapping the gasketing. So once again, you end up with no raw edge, and it dies actually behind the panel. That's the way they did it when the car was new, and that's the way we do it here at BugeyeGuy.com as part of our restoration projects. There's one more thing I want to show you that's kind of interesting. It's pretty common to find door panels made out of thin masonite like this. This is a handmade job, and it would go right here. That's the correct way that these things went into place, and it's not a bad version, but the problem with it is that tricky with one hand, it's a little flimsy, and so people pull on these to close the doors, and it's just kind of wiggly. Of course, you can use thicker masonite, but the correct piece actually looks like this, and we have these here and put them in a lot of cars. I'm not sure I can fit it with one hand, but you get the idea. What it has is this raised area that goes around, and then there's also a metal reinforcement on the top. And so what you end up with is, I'll hold it with my knee, you end up with a bit of a bow, so it makes it easier to reach in, and you end up with a stiffer product, and you also end up with the correct profile, which runs along like this. And this slides into that track and is a much nicer way to execute this door pocket. So those are the correct ways to do a door on your Bugeye. That's what we're up to this week at BugeyeGuy.com.